Yo, rise and shine, everybody. It's your boy Rise, and we got another mouse review for you. Yeah, if you didn't know, Xtrfy came out with their mini potato, right? And it is a damn good mini potato. I can tell you that for a fact. We got this guy right here, the Xtrfy M8. Extremely low buttons. Extremely low. Look at that. Look at that. Nice shape, design. We're going to go into it in a little bit more. A lot of people are going to compare it to the G Pro X. So that's what we're going to do it today as well. And as a mini hand gamer, Sir Brighthead is going to dive in and tell you what I like, what I don't like, what they can do better. We're going to go from there. So get ready, strap in, and let's get it. All right. So Xtrfy's newest mouse, the M8. It is a very weird shape. And it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're going to take a little bit to get adjusted to the shape because of the curvature of M1 and M2 is a lot more pronounced than a lot or pretty much of any other mouse that I've ever seen, right? But let me tell you, when you do get used to the shape, you put more time on it, it does feel very good. A lot of people are going to compare this to a G Pro Superlight, and honestly, it is pretty much a smaller G Pro X, but it is different. It's not going to be a clone. Nowhere close to a clone. But we're going to cover that. Right out of the box, you got a nice presentation. Nice and clean. Not too much on there. Solid. Sides. That's the tape from the box. I just throw it on the side. Looks good. Bottom, you have the dimensions. So I'll leave that there. You guys want to check that out? Head's rocking a 3395. It weighs in about 55 grams. And honestly, it is pretty damn light. It feels good. The shape of this mouse for my hand is 16 by 9. Yes, I have very small hands. That is why I'm extremely picky when it comes to buying mice, using them, and I will tell you right off the back, first day, if I like a mouse or not. I've used the Orochi V2, M8, X2, Final Light Small. Most of the mice that I have bought are small mice. I have the G Pro X that we're going to look at compared to this, and that is a much bigger shape, much bigger mouse in hand than the M8. Now, when you look at this shape, it has curves. It has curves. It pretty much curves all the way down to the pretty much floor, right? Because of these click heights right here. But those click heights really haven't messed me up. They haven't fell off. They're not awkward. You don't really feel them. When you come into the post-travel or pre-travel of the mouse, there really is none. You get that really immediate click initiation with the slightest amount of pressure, which makes these feel really good and perform really good in game. Your scroll wheel, nice, tactile. You can feel each individual step. It's smooth. It feels good on the skin. The skates. The skates. You get 2 skates right right out of the box. You can, if you want, put the center skate on. I did. I think it feels better without it. They are, I think, a little too thin. I would like to see a little thicker skates on this mouse to have that smoother feel, especially on textured pads. For example, the Memento pad is a little more on the textured side, and I really didn't like using this on there because it just felt scratchy. The side buttons, really no post or pre-travel, but you can tell that they actually flow with the curvature of the mouse. So when I'm holding the mouse, my thumb is right along them. So I can go up and click them when I need to. The mouse is small. I can bring it back into the hand. I can adjust my grip when I need to track. When I track, I do place my fingers a little differently when I track compared to when I flick. Fingers are more relaxed, giving more of a more smooth feel while tracking. And then when I flick, I kind of bring my fingers back a little bit to like a little claw. That way, I can put a little more pressure on the side, get that nice, precise flex. And to go back to the skates on smoother pad actually feel really good. So this is the Andromeda from Odin. It's a nice balanced pad. It's a little more on the side of speed pads. There's no like micro tugs. It's not muddy. Feels great. Performs great. Did really well ranking with the boys in Apex on this pad. Then you take the texture a tiny bit step up from the Odin to the new Esports Wusheng X on these skates. It still feels incredibly well. This was the first combo that I used the day that I got this mouse. Performed really good in Valorant. Yes, Valorant on a speed pad and a mini potato. Felt hella good. Fragged out, MVP, ranked, easy, right? It felt natural. I got accustomed to the mouse pretty quick. Felt good. And then the mouse pad, it is slightly textured. It's more textured than the Wusheng 2 that they first released, where the Wusheng 2 is going to be smoother but a lot more chalkier feel. This has a slightly less texture than the Ice pad, and I actually really enjoy this. This is a very enjoyable pad to use with pretty much any mouse. And real quick, if you haven't seen a pearlescent pad under light, this is what it looks like. Direct light brings that coating out more. Looks pretty cool. And under my webcam on stream, that's all you really see is a giant rainbow. Now, would I like to see them have like a design like this without a coating, like the rainbow, like pearlescent coating? Heck yeah, because these designs are amazing. And when you are watching the stream, you really can't see the design under light, but it still performs incredibly well. But let's get back to the mouse. The mouse shape is safe for small hands. I know Fresh was using it and he actually enjoyed it, and he has massive hands. That man can palm grip 2 bowling balls at the same time. I don't know how. I can palm a golf ball, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? But it feels good. On the bottom, you have the switch that you can switch from. The DPI is the top one, the middle one, or the top one's off. Then you got the DPI. Then you got the polling rate, and then you have the debounce time. So on the side, you have that little notch there. That's actually the light. So each step, each little switch to change the settings, you're going to be able to see the light on the side to dictate what setting you're actually on. And all the settings are in the manual. So if you do get the mouse, look at the manual, go over what you want, You can go from there. Then there are 2 different settings for button combinations, and you have a factory reset with a few different button combinations as well. You have motion sync. There's pretty much 3395s all have motion sync. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. Is it gonna make a huge difference if you have it on or off? No, it's not. I've never noticed a difference between motion sync on and motion sync off with any of the new mice that I've used. The other setting is the liftoff distance. I have mine set to 1, and it feels like 1 millimeter. Doesn't hinder me in game at all. Feels really good. And I have my debounce time set at 2. Feels good. Haven't had any double clicks. Solid. The overall structure, it is a solid mouse. Built like a tank. No side flex, no squeaks, no mushiness, no rattling. Like, it's good. It's really good. Now, I am torn because I like this mouse so much between this and the X2. I do feel like the X2, though, feels a little more comfortable in hand. I get a little more movability because it is a little smaller, but the hump isn't the whole mouse, right? But at the same time, I do play extremely well with the M8. So these 2 are definitely in my top mice, 100%. Hands down, small mice, 2022 to come out. These 2 are probably 2 of the best. In my opinion, I think that these outperform pretty much all the other smaller mice on the market, unless you're a G-Wolves fan and you like the shape of the HSK, which is the little finger, what is it? The fingertip mouse that you pay pretty much double the price for a quarter of a mouse, where you can get 2 of these. Just saying. Just saying. But overall, I really do think that these 2 are top tier. And for Xtrfy to bring this thing out, I think it's their top mouse that they have released yet. It is safe for a lot of different shape style or grip styles, hand sizes, etc. And the reason why I say that is the MZ1 is so different and unique, where a lot of people aren't gonna like that. Whereas this one is more on the safer side. You can use pretty much any grip style with it. You can adjust on the fly with it. A lot more people are gonna lean towards something like this over the MZ1, and then, or they'll use the M42. But I think this, I used the M42 wired one. I didn't use the wireless one. I didn't really like the shape of it, the feel of it too much. But I really do think that the shape on this is incredible. Now, a lot of people are going to comment and be like, how does it size compared to the GPX, right? Well, the GPX is a lot larger. As you can tell, the curvature stops about the scroll wheel and it tapers down into the clicks. You get a nice little M1 and M2 grooves on it, and you get a little bit of a divot on the right and left side, and then you got pretty good weight balance. Yeah, really good weight balance. Same thing with the M8. You can get middle, back, and then the front. So it is definitely a really good weight balance mouse. Weight balance. Weight balance is a lot better in the Xtrfy. But this is also a longer mouse. This is 124. M8 is 118. But size and feel in hand are different, right? the G Pro X is a lot larger for small hands, right? So I would not recommend the G Pro for small hands. Never. I would always go for the Xtrfy M2 since this is out, right? Over the G Pro. Now, say if this never came out, I still wouldn't recommend this mouse because it's too big. You are going to, you don't have the movability like you do with the M8. Unless you purely fingertip it, right? It doesn't come in contact with your hand. But you're going to fatigue a lot faster when you purely fingertip something because you're not utilizing your whole hand. You're not utilizing every muscle in your hand, right? And when it comes to the curvature feel, since it is a little tapered down, it does feel different, right? You get a little more grooves. Not too much, though, on the G Pro. But the coating on the G Pro is kind of nasty, right? Compared to the coating on the M8, where this kind of just sticks in your hand, feels so much better. Underneath, I'll show you a little underneath size comparison. Do a little bit of side by side. They're super similar in sides. This is a little bit more narrow on the side, where you can actually lock your thumb in a lot more. This is a little more, like, wider. A little more of, like, the same on each side without the hourglass. M8 feels way better from small hands. The curvature of the clicks, it's weird. You gotta get used to it. Once you do, it's natural. It doesn't actually, you don't really even notice how curved they are in game. You don't. That's pretty much it. Well, not yet. We do have the charging port on the side here. A lot of people are gonna be like, why did they put it on the side? Why did they do that? Honestly, I don't think it matters. I don't think the charging port matters where they put it on any of the mice. Because you shouldn't be using a wireless mouse wired, because it defeats the whole purpose. Plug the mouse in overnight. There you go. Let it charge overnight. You're not going to have a shiny, bright light that's going to keep you awake. It's going to be distracting, unlike some of the mice that have a bunch of holes in the shell and it's glowing on your desk. Like, for me, I need complete, like, darkness to sleep, so I put, like, hats over the mouse that have, like, holes on the shells. I'm a little weird, sorry. But USB-C, I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all when I'm actually gripping the mouse. So yeah, you can take it out, leave it out. I don't like leaving it out just because I like the look of it when it's in. It's more aesthetically pleasing because you don't have a giant hole in the side of the mouse. It charges pretty quick. I used it wired mode. You don't even notice it, right? Browsing, cool. If you're waiting for your mouse to charge and just browsing the internet, easy. You can use it wired. But yeah, plugging it overnight, you'll be good to go for the next 70 something hours. Other than that, you got a solid mice, solid price point at around $100. X2, same thing. Solid mouse, around $100. Top mice of the year right here so far. We have the Sora coming. We're going to be testing that out very, very soon. We'll get a review on that. We just compared this pad with the other one. We might not even need to do a review on that unless you guys want to see it. We did a size comparison of the G Pro, the M8. Knocked that out of the way. Talked about the coating. A little more textured coating. Feels better. It's grippier in hand than a lot of the other mice. Solid mouse. Shout out to Xtrfy for creating something that is unique yet so safe and effective that Like I said, it's gonna feel weird. You gotta get used to it a little bit. Rock the shape, play around with it, use it in tracking heavy games, flick heavy games, more precise games, aim training games. We're gonna show you some clips at the end of all those. Or we might put it in another little video, because we're already sitting around 20 minutes. But that's it. That's all she wrote. Incredible mouse. Highly recommend. Try this thing out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Everything comes to personal preference when it comes to gaming peripherals, audio, mice, pads. It's all personal. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best shapes to have come out all year round. Other than the X2. Right? That's just me. But, as always, rise up. God bless. Keep striving. Do whatever you want to do. Right? And we'll see you on the next one.